Have you ever tried to be funny in English and you just get absolute silence? Like, suddenly you realize you sound like a completely boring, serious person, even though you are undeniably hilarious in your native language.
Oh my gosh, yes. It is a brutal, very universal experience.
Welcome back to English Unfiltered. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie.
Today we are doing a deep dive into the hidden psychological reason your sense of humor just completely vanishes when you speak a second language. And spoiler alert, it actually has absolutely nothing to do with your vocabulary size.
Right, because to really understand this massive shift, we have to look at how the brain processes humor natively. I mean, when you joke in your mother tongue, your brain is essentially just running on autopilot.
It's just totally natural.
Exactly. It's predicting social reactions, it's reading the room and improvising without any conscious effort. But the absolute second you switch to English, your brain violently shifts into what linguistic psychologists call monitoring mode.
Wait, hang on though. Isn't losing your humor just like a lack of cultural context? Like maybe you just don't know the right pop culture references to make a joke land. Why is it a brain issue?
Well, cultural context definitely plays a role,
Hmm.
but the immediate barrier is completely neurological. In monitoring mode, your prefrontal cortex is basically hijacked.
Hijacked how? Like what is it doing?
Well, instead of participating naturally in the social dynamic, you are suddenly allocating massive cognitive resources to translating.
Hmm.
You're searching for precise words, predicting grammatical mistakes, analyzing syntax all at the exact same time.
Oh wow, so it's like trying to break dance while doing long division in your head.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is literally the perfect way to describe it.
Because the spontaneity just dies. Your working memory is completely maxed out with all that background processing.
Exactly. And that maxed out working memory is actually the core of the problem here. I mean, comedy relies on incredibly fast emotional timing, right?
Right. Timing is everything in a joke.
Exactly. A joke only works when it's immediate and socially relaxed and emotionally synchronized with the listener. But because your brain is actively guarding against linguistic errors, a physical change actually happens to you. Your vocal rhythm completely shifts.
Wait, I always assumed I just couldn't find the funny words, but you're saying the actual melody of my voice changes because my brain is hoarding all the energy just for grammar.
Yes, neurologically, when cognitive load spikes, our prosody, the natural melody, pitch, and intonation of speech, it just flattens out.
That is wild.
The brain physically diverts energy away from emotional expression to focus purely on linguistic accuracy. So your voice actually becomes overly formal, hyper-cautious, and just, well, emotionally restrained.
So the tragic irony here is that the harder I try to speak perfect, grammatically flawless English, the more robotic and devoid of personality I actually become.
Precisely. You prioritize accuracy over playfulness, and the joke just dies on arrival. I mean, if you have to pause for even a fraction of a second to conjugate a verb, that necessary emotional synchronicity is completely broken.
That makes so much sense mechanically, but honestly, there's a visceral anxiety to it too. Like it feels less like my brain is just out of RAM and more like I'm actively terrified of stepping on a conversational landmine.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're hitting on the survival mechanism aspect of this whole thing. Humor is inherently risky, right?
Oh, for sure.
Things like sarcasm, irony, teasing, they carry a massive potential for social friction if they miss the mark. So when your brain is already overwhelmed by linguistic processing, it triggers a defensive protocol.
Meaning we subconsciously put up walls because we just don't trust ourselves to navigate that social risk in a second language.
It's literally an act of social self-censorship.
Yeah.
You suppress your playful side to avoid sounding rude or missing a crucial cultural cue or just deeply embarrassing yourself.
You literally lock your real identity in a box just to stay safe in a conversation.
Exactly. You play it safe.
Man. For anyone listening right now who feels a little exposed, please tell me there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, this can't be a permanent condition for language learners.
No, it is definitely temporary. The psychology behind this emphasizes that it happens to highly intelligent, charismatic individuals purely due to that cognitive bottleneck,
Thank God.
right? As your fluency becomes more automated, the cognitive load decreases, the mental bandwidth frees up, and your spontaneity, your sarcasm, and your storytelling abilities naturally bleed back into your speech.
So the brain just stops monitoring and goes back to actually socialize.
Exactly. Your true identity naturally returns to the surface.
That is such a relief. Which leaves you with this to mull over. If your humor is just temporarily locked away behind a language barrier right now, what other fascinating hidden parts of your personality is your English currently keeping secret from the world?